Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm the host of this. I think we should start now. And I'm the host of this session. And I'm Arushi Tiwari. I'm a student of Computer Science and Engineering branch. I'm a third year student. And also, I am a Alpha Microsoft Student Learn Ambassador. And before calling our co-host, I would like to request you all, and I would like to give assurance to you all that please wait till the end of this session because this session is going to be really productive to you all. And at the end, we'll be providing you with a feedback form where you will be filling your email ID or contact ID so that we can send you your certificates over there. And please don't forget to give feedback. Thank you. Now I would like to invite our co-host to introduce himself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Shivansh, you are audible.
Okay, so thank you, Arushi, for inviting me, and good evening, everyone. So, as most of you knows me, but still I'm seeing some new faces. So, hi guys, my name is Shivansh Khare. I'm a student of CS third year, and also I'm LSA. So today I will be showing you how to build machine learning model, but more specifically
Hello, Shivansh. Shivansh, can you check your internet connection because you are not audible to us? Yeah,
now.
yeah, now it's okay. Fine.
Okay, so I was completely blank.
Okay, I think there is a network issue with Shivansh, so I should start this session. So before Shivansh, can you share the screen?
Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. Now, please can you share the PPT slides of the session?
Okay, let me give you control.
Yeah, no issue. Okay, now we can start. So our session's topic is Introduction to Cloud Computing and Azure Fundamentals. Uh, So, Shivansh, please change the slide. Shivansh, can you start the slide from the starting because I'm unable to get its control? Okay, so our topic is about cloud computing and Azure fundamentals. Before starting, we would like to tell you the overview of the session. Shivansh, can you open the slide where we are having overview? Okay, overview of the session. First of all, we'll be covering each topic from the basics, and you don't require any prerequisite. If you are not having any kind of knowledge regarding the session, then please you do not need to worry. We will be starting from everything from the basics. The very first thing which we'll be discussing will be cloud. What is cloud? Then we'll be discussing the cloud models and then cloud services. And I think personally feel that this part is one of the most important part of the session, which is how does Azure works. Then we'll be discussing about the Azure Marketplace and also Azure Iot Services, which are Azure Sphere, Iot Hub, and Iot Central. Then Shivansh will further demonstrate how to build, train, and play machine learning models using a Microsoft technology, which is Loop. I would like to make it clear beforehand that Microsoft Loop is different and it does not comes under Azure fundamentals. Okay, so let's begin. As you know, our topic is Introduction to Cloud Computing, Azure and Azure Fundamentals, and we'll be talking about Microsoft Loop. And I am host of this session, Arushi Tiwari, Alpha Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. And our co-host is Shivansh Kare, who is also a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Now, who are Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador? We'll be telling you each and everything about them. And if you want to wish, and if you wish to be same, then how you can apply. Uh, who are Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador? People who are having interest related to technology or people who are having interest to teaching the peer and to contribute in the growth of the society in terms of technology, they are right fit for Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. Now, what benefits you get if you will become a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador? Student gets access to the unique resources like a global network, a community which is always ready to help you, environment, and a Microsoft 365 account, badges for the activities, and you can unlock additional benefits such as cloud credits. These things which you will get when you keep on upgrading the milestone. Because there are certain stages, alpha, beta, and gold. So as per them, you will be getting the benefits. But yes, you will get one of the most precious benefit, which is a community, which is always a healthy environment, which is always ready to, who are always ready to contribute in your growth. You can apply from the site which is Microsoft Learn. If you want to apply for the MLSC program, you can visit to the site studentambassador.microsoft.com. Here you will get some information to be filled, and you will be getting all the details over there, and you can visit this site and you can apply if you want to be a MLSA too. Now let's discuss the agenda of our session. Cloud computing, what we'll be discussing, what is, why it is used, and benefits. Then we will covering Azure fundamentals, and which is the next most important topic, that how does Azure works, and Azure IoT services. Then Shivansh will demonstrate how to build, train, and play machine learning models using Microsoft technology. I would like to ask you all, are you all familiar with the term cloud computing? And if you are not, then need not to worry, because I'll be discussing each and everything to the point and from the very basics. Okay, no need to worry, Danish. We will talk about each and everything from the topic. So just what do you only need to do is be till the end, and you will. I assure you, you will be getting everything related, or you can get all the base clear if you will be in session till the end. Now, learning things with taking real life example becomes very easy. So I have chosen two cases in our life from where you can get a clear view of cloud. You are you you are suppose you are a owner of the company, or you are going to start a company. Okay, for that, what you need? You need employees. You need employees, and you need, if you are having employees for your company, then you need to have storage, because you have to store data of the employees. You have to store data of your company. So what you can do, you can store simply your data in a local hardware. But what if your company keeps on growing and it becomes in a large scale? Then what if the hard drive where your data has been stored get damaged? Then what will happen? You will suffer a loss. You will suffer a loss, or your company will suffer a loss. So in that case, cloud computing comes into being. Cloud storage come into being. You can store all your data in a cloud. Now, cloud is an online storage. It's a kind of online storage where you can store your data and access data. The second case, which will make you more familiar with this topic, is I hope you must be watching a series on any streaming platform or OTT platform, because people love, or even it is hobby of people. So have you ever wondered that where these series, movies get stored? If not, have you ever wondered? Of course, it is not possible or feasible that they are stored. If you think that they are stored in your local drive or local devices, of course, it is not possible. They are stored on an online storage, which is cloud. So cloud is, we are almost living in the era of cloud, we can say, because everything is online. If you are having internet, then yes, you can access cloud. Now, what is cloud? Cloud is storing and accessing the data and programs over the internet rather than your hard drive. Cloud is the delivery of different services through the internet, including data storage, servers, database, networking, and software. Cloud-based storage makes it possible to save files to a remote database and retrieve them on demand. Means you can store your data online and you can retrieve them whenever you are required. Okay, the user can access the data from anywhere just with the help of the internet connection. To access cloud computing, the user should only register. The user should register and provide with the ID and password for security reasons. Of course, security is one of the most important thing in today's world because your data is really precious. So before learning about cloud computing, we should be familiar about the few terms, so that will make you easier. It will make easier to you to understand the cloud in from the base. The very first term is scalability. Now, scalability, what is the scalability? Scalability is the ability to scale, means scalability is also adding or removing the resources. Now, what are resources? Resources can be your hardware, operating system, virtual machines. So scalability is allocation and deallocation of the data. We will study scalability further in the further slides by just taking a diagram. Now coming towards the elasticity. These terms which we are discussing will be further also become benefits of the cloud computing. So it is mandatory to learn to overview with these terms in a nicer way. So elasticity. Now the next term is elasticity. Elasticity is automatic scaling, or can say it's a dynamic scaling. Mm, See, this is the example. See, what scalability are of two types. One is vertical scaling and the other one is horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling is about increasing the size of the instance. And what are instance over here? Instance are the resources, means increasing the size of RAM, CPU, etc. And what is horizontal scaling? Horizontal scaling means adding more resources, means adding more instance, means adding more RAM, more CPUs. Now the next term is agility. You must have heard people saying if a person in your life is really if a person near you is very quick in responding or very active, very quick in his work, then what you say that the person is really agile, means the person who has ability to react quickly. The same meaning is in with reference to the cloud. In cloud also, this meaning is same, that the ability to react quickly. Now the second term is fault tolerance. Fault tolerance is to maintain the system uptime while physical and service component failure happen. Apply fault tolerance by making the replica of your data. Okay, you can make a copy of your data, then you can use this fault tolerance. You have to create a replica of the source. Okay. And
Ah,
if in any case,
ah,
can anyone
please unmute.
let me change the option? Okay, let's discuss another term, which is fault tolerance. Okay, fault tolerance is the ability to remain up and running during the component and service failure. You have to create a replica of a and if any server fail, then what will happen? It will automatically get redirected to the replica, the which you have created. Okay, now coming towards benefits of the cloud. We have discussed these terms, as I have mentioned that which the terms we were discussing will further be the benefits of the cloud. We human beings always try to find benefits. We don't use things until and unless we don't have any kind of benefits. So the very benefits which we have of cloud computing, using cloud computing, is cost effective. Cost effective means you pay as you go pricing. Means you must have heard of postpaid services where you only pay for the things which you have used. So the same happens with the cloud computing. You pay for the things which you use. You have to pay only for the resources you use, and no need to there is no need of capital expenditure to get started. Means you don't have to pay or put any kind of capital expenditure to start cloud computing. And the other benefit of the cloud is scalability, means allocation and reallocation of the resources. Elasticity means automatic scaling. And yes, the other important term, which is business continuity. Business continuity, because in business continuity means you have to focus on building and deploying only. It provides fast access to the resources or application, and maintenance is done for you. Therefore, there is no need of software fixes, hardware setup, upgrades, and IT management are no longer required. And the other benefit is reliable. Your cloud computing is reliable, means you are assured that your data is safe, in safe hands. See, reliability means your data is in safe hands. Now we'll be discussing about the types of cloud services which we have. The very first is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a services. The second one is PaaS, which is platform as a services. And then we have SaaS, which is a software as a services. We'll be discussing these services in a detailed manner. See, this is a picture which will make you understand in a easier way these services. See, the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. And this is the on-premise. On-premise means that your personal system. And these are the things which are in red, means these are the things which are managed by the cloud, and these are the blue colored things are managed by you in IaaS. Let's go to the another slide to understand. Okay, you have. So in on-premise system, on-premise in simple word is that your personal computer. Means in what you have to do in your personal computer, you have to manage each and everything on your own. Means there is no one to manage your system. And cloud, of course, you are not using cloud services, so there is no responsibility of cloud. Means cloud provider manages nothing. You have to manage your infrastructure, that is network, hardware, and virtualization. And platform also is managed by you, which is operating system, and software, which is data and application. Coming towards infrastructure as a services. Infrastructure as a services over here, cloud provider manages the infrastructure. Means cloud provider has the responsibility of managing networking, hardware, virtualization, and you have to manage platform and software, which means operating system and your software. It is the most basic category of the cloud computing services. You can rent infrastructure, virtual machines, storage, network, and operating system if you use infrastructure as a services. Now let's see the common use cases of infrastructure as a services in your daily life. The very first thing is testing and development. Whenever you do testing and development, means there you are using infrastructures. The storage and backup and recovery in these cases means that you are using infrastructure. This is the virtual machine. If you are having an infrastructure as a services, which means you are using a virtual machine. Now coming towards PaaS, which is Platform as a Services. It provides an environment for building, testing, and deploying software application. The goal of the Platform as a Services is to help you create an application as quickly as possible without focusing on managing the infrastructure. Means over here, cloud provider manages your infrastructure and platform. Means networking, hardware, virtualization, operating system, and middleware. What you have to manage? You only have to manage the software. Means all the data. And talking about the use cases, it is used when in a development framework, analytics, and business intelligence. Uh, PAS provides analytics toolkit that allow organizations to analyze their data. For example, forecasting, product design, investment returns. Here you will be using the PaaS. Azure App Services is an example of platform as a services, which is used for web hosting. Now, coming towards software as a services, it is a cloud provider which manages infrastructure and platform. Infrastructure um, in software as a services, now you have to manage nothing. You are free. You only have to concentrate on your working. Cloud will do everything for you. Means it will manage your infrastructure also, platform also, and software also. It is centrally hosted and managed for the end customers and allows users to connect and use the cloud-based apps. And the very common example you all have used this SAS, as you have used Office tools, Skype. These all are examples of software as a services. Calendars, Microsoft Dynamics CRM Online. These all are examples of software as a services. See, Outlook provided by the Microsoft. It is software as a services. OneDrive, where you can store your data. Skype for video calling. Used for this is software as a services. Now let's discuss a question and see who will be the first to answer. Uh, Now, can you tell that virtual machine is an example of which kind of services among the cloud? Is it platform as a services? Is it IaaS or SaaS? Okay. Uh, Now I'll be telling you the answer. It's IaaS. It's infrastructure as a services because it's a virtual machine. Virtual machine is the infrastructure. Now coming to the next question, managing your own infrastructure is an example of which kind of services? Uh, PaaS, SaaS, or it is an on-premise environment? Mm-mm. Well, it's an on-premise environment. Now coming towards the cloud deployment model. There are three kinds of cloud deployment model. The very first is public cloud, second is private cloud, third is hybrid cloud. Now, public cloud is everything which runs on the cloud provider environment and there is no local hardware. Uh, it is owned by the cloud service provider and it is also known as hosting provider. Uh, Talking about the characteristics of public cloud, uh, it has multiple end users. It is the most common type of cloud deploying model. Skills. Talking about the skills which you require to operate this public cloud is no skills are required. Means some services share hardware with us, other customers, no local hardware, everything's all run on a cloud provider environment. Now coming towards the advantages, as there is no starting capital expenditure. It is highly available and agile. We have discussed these terms. Agile means ability to react quickly. It works on pay as you go basis, no hardware maintenance, and yes, no deep technical skills are required to use public cloud. Now everything has disadvantage. So public cloud too has disadvantage. There is a security issue as the term comes public. So there can be issue of the security, ownership issue, particular requirements with the business. If you are having particular requirement with the business, then this is a wrong choice because there is some issues. There can be issues regarding security. Now coming towards the private cloud. Cloud is owned and operated by the organizations that uses it. It is decreated in organizations' data centers and provides self-service access to computing resources to internal users. Means everything's run in your computer only. You have to provide everything. You are the one maintaining all the hardwares. Talking about the advantage, you can support any scenario, control over the security, and can meet any security requirements. As the term private comes, which means you have a control over the security and there is no issue that you can be facing further regarding your security. Talking to the ownership, the owner and the user of the services are same. The owner is entirely responsible for the management of the cloud hardware, and you don't have to provide access to the public. Talking about the skills, yes, deep technical knowledge is required to set up, manage, and maintain the private cloud. And advantages, yes. Now, talking about the disadvantages of private cloud, initial capital expenditure is required. Means you have to do some kind of expenditure, capital investment to start it. IT skills and expertise are very mandatory, and yes, limited agility. Coming towards hybrid cloud, hybrid terms means combination. It is the combination of public as well as private cloud. It has great flexibility. Allows you to run your application in the most appropriate locations. You have organizational control and management. Requirement of the skilled technical is mandatory. Talking about the advantages, it has great flexibility. You can run legacy apps in private. You can utilize the infrastructure which is existing and you can meet any security issues requirement. If we take an example of hybrid cloud, for example, you are hosting a website in a public cloud and linking it to a highly secured database hosted in a private cloud. Disadvantage, yes, it is very expensive and it is complicated to use. IT expertise and skills are mandatory as discussed earlier. Now coming to, we have discussed about the services, we have discussed about the cloud models. Now coming towards the Azure physical structures. Physical structure means geographies, regions, availability zones, and uh, data centers. These all comes under your physical structures. Uh, we will be describing them and their benefits and how we will be using them in a detail. So let's begin with the data center. Data center. For example, if you purchase any services on Azure, be it a data, web services, services with an Azure or virtual machine. All these services run on a physical infrastructure on some servers. Physical facility that hosts the server is called data center. Okay, it is used to host a group of network servers. A typical data center has its own power, cooling, and networking infrastructures. A group of data center that is connected with each other with high throughput internet connectivity are called regions, and Microsoft has many regions across the globe. They can be small as a single data center, or they can contain multiple data centers. The closer you are to your client, the lower the latency. Now, what is latency? Latency means a delay before a transfer of the data begins. Means it is the delay before transferring of the data. Okay, so the closer you are to your client, the lower the latency between the servers and your clients. When it comes to the regions, they are very few and more thing to understand. Region is simply a geographical area on the planet that consists one or more one or more centers connected with low latency network. Now, what is low latency network? It is less than 2 millisecond speed network. Region is a location for your services, and its concept will come into being when you will be using Azure. While buying services, location will be the very important field to fill, which means which physical area you want to deploy your services. So on summarizing region is a geographical area. It's a location of the services you use. All the services are not available in all the regions. So Azure is globally available in almost 50 plus regions throughout the globe. Now we will be next, which we'll be discussing will be availability zones. This is the graph which is blue colored. These blue dots are showing the Azure regions in throughout the globe. Now discussing the availability zones. This is regional feature, or can say it is a grouping of physical separate facilities, and it is designed to protect from data center failure. Suppose we have multiple data centers, they have their own power, cooling, and network infrastructures, and they are connected with fast internet. But you don't have control which data center are your service being deployed. So the reason is why availability zone was created. This is a regional feature which each data center gets a number that represents a grouping of physically separate facility. Availability zones are made to protect from data center failure, as each availability zone has its own power, cooling, and network infrastructure. And next term which we'll be discussing is region pairs. Region pairs, each region is paired with another region. It is a physical isolation with at least 300 miles distance. Okay, what if there is a region level failure? If the entire region goes down, then it will not matter if you did use the availability zone. To, to deal this case, Microsoft created a region pairs, and each region has a paired region. Microsoft ensures if one region goes down, then the other region remains working and gives feature to replicate data across multiple regions. Towards the next term, which is geographies. All the regions and region pair are grouped into geographies. Their purpose is to ensure all the requirements are met, and like data residency, sovereignty, resilience, and compliance. And fault tolerance. Now, fault tolerance means to protect from the region-wide failure. See, to conclude, these data centers, collection of data centers is availability zone, and then combining the availability zone, this whole forms Azure region. Then combining Azure regions forms a region pair. Then combining region pairs, two region pairs forms a geography. Now this is I personally feel that this is one of the most important part of the session, is that how does Azure works. Now Azure works on the technology which is called virtualization. Virtualization separate the tight coupling between a computer's hardware and its operating system using an abstract layer called hypervisor. Now what is hypervisor? Hypervisor emulates all the function of real computer and its CPU in virtual machine. It can be, it can be, it can run multiple virtual machine at the same time, optimize the capacity of obstructed hardware. Azure takes this virtualization technology and repeats it's on a massive scale in a Microsoft data centers throughout the world. And each data center has a mini racks which is filled with servers, and each server includes a hypervisor to run multiple virtual machines. Then there comes a network switch which provides the connectivity. As you can see the diagram, there comes the network switch which provides the connectivity to all those servers, and one server in each racks run a special piece of software which is called fabric controller. Now each fabric controller is connected to another piece of software which is known as orchestrator. As you can see in the figure, orchestrator. Now orchestrator is responsible for managing uh, everything that happens in the Azure, be it responding to the user's request, and if a user make request using an orchestrator web API. Now the web API can be called by many tools, including the user interface of the Azure portal. This is the Azure portal, and using this Azure portal, user can request or can call this web API. When user makes a request using the Azure portal, what he does, he creates a virtual machine. Now, after creation of the virtual machine, orchestrator packs the things needed, picks the best servers, and then sends all the package and the request which is made to fabric control and sends all the packages and requests to the fabric controller. Once the fabric controller create a virtual machine, the user can connect to it. So here, this is how Azure works. Now the main thing you have to remember is Azure works on the technology which is called virtualization. Now I would like to invite Shivansh to continue his topic, which is about Microsoft Globe, which is all technology which is provided by the Microsoft to make your machine learning easier. Shivansh?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Shivansh, you are audible.
Okay. So during the session, or if my voice breaks, or anybody have to ask anything, you are free to unmute yourself and ask me directly. So let me start the session. So it was a great part by Arushi, and I believe that it was really knowledgeable for me. So now let's, as you all can see in the screen, I'm going to explain you about machine learning, and we are not only going to discuss about the theory part, but we are actually going to build and train a machine learning model, and after that we will play with that machine learning model. So before that, let me introduce you with some basic technologies so that you can understand the things more clearly. So the first question arises is, what is machine learning? Many times we misinterpret machine learning as artificial intelligence, but the both things are very different. Artificial intelligence means making machine which can work like a human, or making a machine which can work on its own with its own intelligence. But machine learning is a small subset of artificial intelligence. Machine learning says that machine can make predictions on the basis of how they are taught. Like we teach so many things. Like we teach machine, and after that it can predict what to do. Uh, like assume if we show 1000 or 2000 images of a cat to a machine, and then if we show a new image to the machine, then it can predict, yes, it is a dog or it is a cat, on the basis of its knowledge which has been stored in that machine. So machine learning are of four types. First is supervised, second is unsupervised, then we have semi-supervised, which comes between supervised and unsupervised, and at the end we have reinforcement learning. Let's discuss one by one them. So supervised learning, as the word suggests supervised, it means we are supervising machine. What is teached to the machine, we are actually supervising it. So in supervised machine learning, we give labeled data to machine. We give a well-structured data, and with that data, machine learn and then make predictions. So that is called supervised machine learning. Supervised machine learning are of two types: classification, and second is regression. Classification, we can assume it as like I've given example of cat and dog. So let's assume all these blue dots are the images of dog, and all these red dots are the images of cat. So we have given plenty of images to computer, and now it has created this line. This line is our machine learning model. So it has created a model which is differentiating between images of dog and images of cat. Now suppose if I give a new image to the machine, and its properties comes something here. So machine can predict that it is below that line, so it must be a dog. So this way it is called classification. And the second classification of supervised machine learning is regression. In regression, we solve the problem such as predicting what will be the weather on next day, or what will be the price of house in your locality. So all these things can be done using supervised machine learning, and under that regression. So in regression, what we do is we create a equation. Like we give so many information to our computer, and with that information it has created an equation, and this line is our machine learning model. So now suppose if I so assume this to be the machine learning model which tells the price of house in your locality. So let this be the area of the house. So if I say that tell me the price of the house whose area is 2 acres. So assuming here is a point of 2 acres. So now we can predict that, okay, it interact with a machine learning model at this point. So this should be the value of price of the house. So this is the basic difference between classification and regression. Now let's come to unsupervised machine learning. Unsupervised machine learning means we are not giving a structured information. We are just giving some information to the machine and it is learning by its own. We are not actually labeling the data. We are just giving unlabeled data and it is separating all the data based of its own. So this is unsupervised learning and this is supervised learning. You might get confused like they both are looking same, but as in classification, or we can say in supervised, we are telling okay, all these squares are different than all these circles, and after that it is making this machine learning model. But here we are not labeling that this is different or this is different. We are just giving all the data to the computer and now it is assuming that all these properties are close to each other and all these properties are close to each other, then we can assume this to be one cluster and this to be another cluster. So this way unsupervised learning works. Now comes to semi-supervised machine learning. So it is a intermediate ground between supervised and unsupervised. In semi-supervised learning, we give some data which is labeled, some data which is unlabeled, and with both that data, we train our machine learning model to learn and grab things. Now, the final part is reinforcement learning. So you can assume reinforcement learning as a student standing in front of a teacher. Now, teacher will ask him one question. He can answer it right or wrong. So if he answered correctly, then he will get some reward, and if he answers wrong, then he will get some punishment. So there are two categories of reinforcement learning. First is positive reinforcement learning. Second one is negative reinforcement learning. So when we have positive reinforcement learning, it means the machine has given the right answer and now it is reconstructing itself such a way that it will again give the right answer. And in the negative reinforcement learning, it will reconstruct itself so that it will not give negative answers again. Like you can assume it that machine learning model have different modules in itself, and all these with the help of all these modules, it is predicting the answer. So if it is giving a right answer or it is a positive reinforcement, then it will increase the weightage of all those modules which are giving the answer. And if it is a wrong answer, then it will reduce the weightage of those modules which give wrong answer. So I think now it's enough for theory. Let's try it ourselves. So here is our Microsoft Globe. We use Microsoft Globe to build a machine learning model. So it is a very easy process. We don't have to do so much thing. Okay, so it's opening. Let's wait for a minute. It might take some time. So till then, let me show you from where you can download it. So just go to lobe.ai. From this site, you can download Microsoft Globe. It's free, and when you click on this download button, it will get downloaded, and you can install it like next install. a very easy process. So machine learning model is Lobe is used or created to make machine learning easy. And right now we can do image classification in Lobe, and in some time we will be able to do object detection and data classification also with the help of Lobe. Mm, some So once we have created a machine learning model, we can export it anywhere. And there are some unique qualities of Lobe which make it special. Like one is it is free. So we can download it free. It is very easy to use. It's private. Private in the sense we don't have to upload our data to any website. Our data will be in our local machine, and Lobe will work on that data. So our data is safe and it's private, and we can export it anywhere. We will see it later. What happened? Let's open it again. Hmm. Awesome. So this is our Lobe. Let's build a new project. So here is our window for new project. So let's build a machine learning model by our own. So I will name it Avengers. As many of you are Marvel fans here, so let's build a machine learning model which will identify which Avenger character is present in the image. So let's import some data on which we have to train. So we have three options. We can use images which is present in our computer. We can capture image from our camera, or we can import a structured folder or a data set. So right now I'm going with this option, a data set. So data set is not a complicated thing. It's simply we have a folder, like we have a folder shape, and under that we have different shapes, and under like we have shape square or circle, and under this folder square we have different images of squares. So this way we can create our data structure data set. So let me choose a data set. It's there only. So we have to label them manually, or we can use the folder name for labeling the image. So right now, the way I have created that folder, we can use this option. So let's import. Okay. Okay, so these are the images which I have downloaded and stored in a folder. Let me show you the data set from more closer. So here is Avengers folder, and inside that I have created 5 folders: Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor. And inside every folder, I have downloaded some images. So you can also make it. It's very easy. Now, as you can see, training has been started. So on the basis of this data, a machine learning model has been started to train itself. And down here it is showing what is the accuracy percentage of our data of our machine learning model. So right now it is predicting 19% images correctly, which is not so good, but well, for now it's almost Done. Training is almost done, like half completed. Awesome. So we have trained model which is predicting 19% images correctly. Not so good, but जी मैडम नीचे होंगी. So uh, let's play with it. Let me import some images and try it in a machine learning model. So let's first go with this image. Captain America. No way, you have answered it wrong. And the right answer is Hulk. So now, as you can see, training is again started. So this is called reinforcement learning. And right now it's doing negative reinforcement learning because it has answered it wrong. So it again training, and now it has some really good percentage of accuracy, 93%. Let's try it again. So let's try with this image. Open. No way. Spidey. Okay, so it's again training. Done. 92 percentage. Let's try again with some new images. Oh, 97%. That's great. Now try it again. Let's go with this image. It's Iron Man. Absolutely right. Now, as you can see on the right answer also, it's training itself. So that is called positive reinforcement learning. So a machine learning model is again changing its structure or changing the weight of different modules so that it can predict more correctly. And as more and more we are going in the project, its accuracy percentage is increasing. So now it's 98%. I hope it will now predict correctly. Let's go with this image of Captain America. Spider-Man. No, still wrong. Captain America. Okay, let's try one more time. With this image. It's Captain America, right? So now I'm pretty much confident with my machine learning model. So now let's export it. Like I have trained my model, I have tried it with my own. Now what I can do is I can export it. So there are various options in which I can export this model. I can export it in Power Platform, Loop Connect. Like I can use this machine learning model in my web app, in my iOS app, Android app, or REST server. I hope you all have heard about REST APIs. So for that REST APIs, I can create a REST server, and then with the help of REST APIs, I can use this machine learning model in anywhere. And there are still some options more. Like I can create a TensorFlow, TensorFlow.js, or UNX model. So I can export them with so many options. Let me assume with let me try it with exporting it as a TensorFlow Lite model. So I will click on there. Let me choose a folder. let's do it in our desktop. Export it here. Now it's showing me why should I want to optimize it for exporting. So let's optimize it. Now what it is doing, it is optimizing a machine learning model, and after that it will create the whole code in TensorFlow Lite, which I can use anywhere for my mobile apps. So let's cancel it for now. Stop optimizing. So I hope it's clear to all of you, like how we can create our machine learning model and how we can use that machine learning model in our own personal projects, in our own personal project like web app, iOS app, Android app, or any other project with the help of REST server. So now I would like to request Arushi to continue the session. And that's all from my side.
Thank you, Shivansh, for your wonderful presentation. Now I would like to request you to please continue sharing the slides so I can continue with my topic. Okay, thank you. Now can you shift the slide, Shivansh, as I'm unable to. Yeah, okay. Now, as Shivansh has done wonderful explanation of Microsoft Azure, uh, Microsoft Globe. Now coming back to the Azure, now, let's talk about Azure Marketplace. It is like an online shop where you search for the items you want to buy in the cart and add them in the cart. You must have searched online or purchased online purchased objects or things online. In the same way, Azure Marketplace is for Azure. Um Inside of the Azure Marketplace, you are provided with the services and there are templates of services. It's like a Azure shop. Azure Marketplace is just a part of something bigger, which is called commercial Microsoft, commercial marketplace. They are further of Microsoft App Source and then Azure Marketplace. Microsoft App Stores are basically for business users, and Microsoft App Stores are consist of Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, Power BI, Azure, and Azure Marketplace are only for the products of Azure. Now I would be talking about the, see, you can see the picture. This is Azure Marketplace. Now I will be talking about IoT because further we will be discussing about the Azure services provided by Azure IoT services, which is provided by the Microsoft. Uh, Now let me give you the introduction about IoT. IoT acts like a bridge between the physical and digital world. It's less lets us allow or allows devices with sensors along with the internet connection to communicate with the cloud-based system. And yes, using the internet, as nothing happens without the internet. We will see Azure IoT services are offered to us and study how they are different from each other and when to use which services. Some of the sensors which measure physical world's attribute are like a smoke sensor, gas sensors, flow level sensors. You must have heard of sensors and sound and ultrasonic sensors. If you are using Azure IoT services, devices which are equipped with the sensors and are connected to the internet, these they could send the readings to the endpoint in the Azure through the messages. The data of message in is then collected and converted in the form of alerts, and all the devices could update the firmware to add new features by sending software updates from Azure IoT services to every devices. Let's take an example. Suppose you are the owner of the company or can say a manufacturing company, and manufacture and operate smart refrigerated vending machine. Now vending machines are those where you put the coin and you get the desired thing out, like chocolates or whatever you want. See, what would you do and what you wish to have if you want to monitor them? You should make sure that these machines should operate with no errors. Of course, if you put one coin and nothing comes out, then what? There will be the loss of the money. No compromisation should be done. The content in the machine is kept with the required range of temperature. Suppose if there are chocolates inside and they are with the low, with a, if they are not in a required range of temperature, they can melt. Okay, and you get notification whenever the products reach to the inventory level so that you can restock them. So the hardware of the machine, if they are capable enough to collect and send the information in the standard message, the messages sent by each machines can be received, stored and organized, and also display by using Azure IoT services. This data helps you to predict when machines need maintenance and when new product is required. Now we will be talking about Azure IoT services. Now, the simple definition of IoT is Internet of Things. It is a network of interconnected devices embedded in everyday objects, enabling sending and receiving data such as settings and telemetry. It acts as a bridge between the physical and digital world, as I have already told you. IoT enables devices to gather and then rely information for the data analysis. Smart devices are equipped with sensors that collect data. And smart devices such as smart watches and all, which I hope you all are familiar with these devices. Now coming towards the Azure IoT Hub. Okay. Azure IoT Hub allows for the bidirectional communication between cloud and IoT devices and allows the developers to utilize this information to provide monitoring and let them develop custom solutions for the IoT platforms. Okay, it is very secure, scalable, reliable, and yes, it is a platform as a services. They can integrate with many Azure services. Azure IoT Hub can be integrated with many Azure services. Uh, Now coming towards Azure IoT Central, it is quite similar to IoT Hub. We use it if we don't want to build solution. For example, if we don't want to build a solution from scratch or from the base, it works on different level and it allows you the connectivity of your IoT devices with the cloud. Okay, IoT Central gives or provides a set of templates for building application using standard templates. It is an application delivery platform for IoT for device management and centralization template. It is a solution for those organizations who wish to take advantage of IoT and don't want to or can say build application from the base or from the scratch. Then you can use IoT Central. Now let's discuss another topic, another services of IoT, which is Azure Sphere. Azure Sphere is a security service which build a secure end-to-end IoT solutions. It creates standard certified chip. Well, it is not a service alone, first of all. It is a set of components allowing you to build secure IoT application. It is a set of components that let you build secure IoT applications. Let's take an example. Uh, let's consider that we are having a washing machine and we are building an application that will run on these washing machines. First thing that Azure Sphere delivers are Azure Sphere microcontrollers units. These are simple chips that are built according to the Microsoft standards and specifications. Microsoft then delivers these specifications to our hardware vendors so that uh, so that this operating system make sure that it's always up to date and that this system has the latest security patches applied. Then you build your application on the top of this. And the third thing that Azure Sphere delivers is Azure Sphere Security. This service is used for secure communication between the cloud and the devices themselves, so that the support teams could be able to apply updates to your application through that service. But also Microsoft can apply updates to the operating system again through Azure Sphere Security Services. To conclude, let's to summarize these things, IoT Hub is managed service for bidirectional communication. Bidirectional communication with IoT devices. It is a platform as a services and used to build custom IoT applications. But organization can also increase existing industry standards, specific templates for building IoT solutions. In that case, they can use IoT Central, which is an IoT application platform with number of functionalities for provisioning, management, and monitoring of IoT solutions. And lastly, we have learned about Azure Sphere, which is our end-to-end approach for building secure IoT solutions by providing both hardware operating system, and communication channel for securing our IoT solutions. Now, if here's the end of a session, and if you want to learn more and deeper about the Azure, you can visit Microsoft you can refer to the documentation which is provided by the Microsoft, where you will find systematic documentation to learn about Microsoft technologies. If you are having any kind of question regarding this session, then feel free to ask. Be it related to the Microsoft Ambassador Program, be it related to, if you want any resources, we will be providing you, or you have any question related to the session, feel free to ask. Uh, I don't think so. Anyone is having question. Thank you, and do share your views with us. Shivansh, can you share the feedback form link in the comments in the chat box so that everyone could submit the feedback and submit their email ID so that we can send them certificates.
It's done.
Oh, yeah.
So guys, there is a form link. Please fill it so that we can send you your certificates. And we are open for any queries. If you have, you feel free to ask us.
Yes, don't forget to give feedback, because your feedback is really important to us and it will help us to improve.
Link is not working.
Okay, let me check.
Now it's working. Thank you. Now it's working.
That's great.